What voice and tone do you play?
Test.
Testicles. Pause. What y'all expect, man? This is me.
I am Jamar on Instagram or in the social media podcasting world. I am Ramaj. I am the host of Officially Off the Record, a webcast that is in year 3 where we tell the truths of Black people. And so I am here today to talk about some Black truths at random. So I'm excited to see what we're talking about today.
This is going to be very different than a lot of the other content that you've seen with Jamar because he's done a lot more professional stuff. This is a hobby for me. This is supposed to be fun, and I probably should not have had him on my show after Jay 2 times had him because his production just looks so much better than mine, and it's so. But I'm still me though. Shout out to my club. We gonna hold it down.
So now, welcome to my TED Talk.
Okay.
Are you coming to the parade with us?
I'm not sure, and I have yet to be sure about the parade. And it's not a matter of my presence being there. Mm-hmm. If the Brat or Queen Latifah is at the Houston Pride Parade, I'll be there before everybody.
Okay, but they're not gonna be there.
Well, hey,
the Brat about to have a whole baby. She ain't gonna be there.
I just want to talk. I just want to let her know that Allen Iverson is so wrong. And I'm not deflecting. I brought some lightheartedness to this. I don't know if my presence there pushes the ball forward in terms of what I'm already doing and my stance on being an advocate and ally. Meaning that for me, the way I advocate is by acceptance and then also being a supporter in terms of making sure that people aren't uncomfortable in my presence.
I hear you. I also think, though, right, like when you talk about your presence, mm-hmm. right, as a heterosexual Black man, I would say seeing. So I have 2 thoughts on this. So I've been talking about this all week long. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times, and I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of the times, proximity to homosexuality is dangerous for Black men, whether you're gay or you're straight, right? And what I mean by that is sometimes heterosexual men don't like to be seen with gay Black men, especially effeminate, flamboyant gay Black men, because what society sometimes will say, you're gay by association. And so men get nervous of being, but what I'm saying is, on the opposite end of that is like you being a Black male who is, you know, in your truth, heterosexual, confident in who you are, is a lover of the community, an advocate of the community. You being there, it might be a support or a conversation starter, or it might be leading by example, because there may be other heterosexual Black men who may say, man, I would have went out there, but I didn't know if that was the scene for me. And then they see you and they're like, oh, y'all was out there. Next year, I'm going.
Yeah, I see that, and I get where you're coming from on that. That's definitely a perspective to take on it.
So let me ask you a question. Paint a picture for all of us about what you think the Pride Parade is going to look like. Because you're saying like gawking at women. Tell me what you think
for sure. For
like.
Me, my thought process about the Pride Parade or my visual is, 1, I got to fight with Houston traffic. 2, when I get there, I am observing but not present, because the music that I'm visualizing there or illustrating is maybe go-go house music, Beyonce, Cardi B, Ice Spice, Pound Town. I don't dance my best in those environments. just paint a picture there. Yes, there are going to be people in revealing clothing different than what a padre would be for spring break. And that's actually where I draw the parallel from. I'm not going out my way to go to Padre for a spring break with the intention that I am the minority in the situation. And I think that's what makes me hesitant, because I'm a minority in a space that is already hypersensitive to acceptance, because the Pride Parade is to advocate for pushing that agenda, in my opinion. Okay. Does that answer your question?
So let me tell you something.
Okay, let's be up. Teach me something.
I think this is all the more reason why you need to go to the Pride Parade, because I'm sure there may be some Beyonce playing there or some Cardi, maybe some Ice Spice, what have you. But I would a lot of the times the music that you would hear at a Pride event is the same as you might hear at Prospect Park or that you might hear at any other lounge, right?
Okay.
And the other thing is, right, I think that, because this is a really open space for LGBTQ plus members and allies and advocates and things like that, I would imagine you would probably be as welcomed, if not even more welcomed, as you would if you were going to a completely supposed heterosexual space. So I think going to the Pride would give you a little bit more understanding about how the community celebrates. And plus, this is like one of the cornerstone events of the week. Usually Pride is in Houston is held for multiple days over multiple weeks.
Yeah, I feel like last year or before the pandemic, there was always something going on every weekend during Pride Month.
This year they're not doing that. For what reason, I don't know. But I think this is going to be like a culmination of all things. So you're going to get everything. So it's going to be really, really nice. So I think you should go. And also it will change some of the idea of what you think is going to be. And I'm going to be honest with you. So when I was in college, I was afraid to go to gay clubs because me going to an HBCU at the time that I went, it wasn't homosexuality and all of the LGBTQness wasn't celebrated. So if you were black and you were gay, you were like in the closet because you didn't want nobody to know, because you wanted to you either wanted to pledge or be an SGA, or you just didn't want to be tormented. And so my idea of what the gay space was like, I thought it was going to be like and then like everybody's kissing with glow sticks, because I had never been before, right?
I personally,
and it wasn't that.
Wouldn't mind kissing with glow sticks.
But you're not kissing no dudes with glow sticks.
Nah.
Right. So in my mind,
but I'm just saying, like, the ounce culture isn't something that I'm anti.
Me either.
And holistically, do you feel like as a gay black man, do you feel like you're ostracized today?
I wouldn't say ostracized, more than fetishized. I
feel that. I'm tracking with what you're saying.
So in certain places with women, right? I was just talking about this with somebody. So this is going to be the topic of my show on Friday.
Shameless plug. Check his show out
at officially OTR, officially off the record on Instagram. Please like, click, comment, subscribe, follow.
I used to hate a little bit because he handled his business quickly and his show kicked off, and I was like, damn, he doing it and I'm playing. I need to go ahead and get kicked off. And he just hopped on live. He had the setup all good. He had people on there and they was watching and liking, and I was supporting, but I was still just like, I got a ball too. And
now look where we are. Now we both out of court.
Now we both got a court.
I can be Michael, you can be Kobe, or you can be Michael, I can be Kobe.
We don't ever be Michael. You be forgetting that.
Michael Jordan?
Never.
We're never Michael Jordan?
We're never Michael Jordan.
Why are we not Michael Jordan?
I do.
Didn't even think about that.
I do be making the head ass joke. Whoopsie. I do be making those type of jokes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pivot real quick. I like being able to make culturally relevant jokes about fraternity and sorority life. To me, it's not lame. It's not head ass. It's a culture. If you choose not to participate, that's your prerogative, and have your prerogative. But shut up when a real nigga talking. I want to make jokes about being an alpha and how cool it is. If it ain't cool to you, it just ain't hitting, and that's fine. But we need to kill that. Like, if it don't apply, let it fly. And that's why I understand a little bit better about Pride support.
Okay, so back to what we was talking about.
Like, I in that moment, it came together. Me showing up and being present, I don't have to participate in the way that everybody else wants me to, per se. Nor do I have to uphold the obligation of what you believe an ally should be as a man, as a heterosexual black male. It's my choice. So I can choose to show up at a space or not, but at the end of the day, if my heart is in the better judgment, then it is there.
And your participation can look like just standing there. It can look like just physically being there on your phone. It can look like, hey y'all, I'm here, and I'm out. Or it can look like anything, a myriad of things. What we have to understand is that allyship and advocacy can look like several things.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
But what I was saying is, when you ask about ostracized, rather than ostracized, sometimes I feel as a black gay man, I'm fetishized. And the reason why I say that is, sometimes with women, right? Women sometimes, and this is not what I want to say that everything that I'm saying is not a catch-all, but in my
it can be though. Here, if you feel so charged up by what he say, it's because he talking about you, and that's why your feelings hurt. I'm not copping pleas for nobody. So if you feel like you fetishize Jamar because he a gay black man and what he about to say hurt your feelings, they hurt because it apply.
I appreciate y'all saying that. I'm just going to say my team and my management staff, we have not consented to that. So we're just going to say it's not a catch-all.
Oh, I got a disclaimer. This show is 100% truth except the stuff I make up.
Boom.
So you don't even got to worry about the management. That's this comedy style.
To my team watching,
it's for
we're
entertainment.
Good. We're
it's
good.
Entertainment. It's just laugh.
No, but what I was saying is,
sure.
like, in my experience, right, like with some black women, I have been like the token black gay. They're like, "Oh, you're gay. Will you go shopping with me, or shop for my boyfriend, or help me to decorate my home?" When in reality, I'm not even that black gay guy. I will wear a t-shirt and shorts and chucks and all the time, or like I don't like to dress up, right? I'm not what some would be like, oh, this is a typical, like I don't fit in that box.
Yeah.
Or when we talk about being fetishized with like men, right?
Well, I was even gonna go a try direction.
Okay.
I would assume, and I'm using that word intentionally, when you use fetishize, my mind immediately goes towards sexuality. So I would think when you say that, women would utilize you for their comforts.
So when we talk about utilizing, I literally just had a conversation.
Like you
mean like sexual comfort?
Yeah.
Like me having sex with a woman?
But because she want to get something off and she trusts you because you gay.
Oh, okay. So
I know if I hook up with him, it ain't going nowhere. He not finna try to take this serious. He not gonna fall in love with me because he like men for real.
Here's the thing though, right? A lot of women who identify as heterosexual have been flipped by gay guys and liked it.
What do you mean by that?
So
meaning they wasn't heterosexual women and then they became they were.
What I mean by flipped, I mean physically, had sex with gay men and enjoyed it, right? Like to what you're saying is like, because I know of a situation in which two situations. This is not my lived experience because,
but it could be.
There was only one summer that I was open to that. And that summer has long gone. Or now,
Summer Walker.
I'm not saying that there wasn't a time when I wouldn't do like a three-way with a couple, like a male and female couple, but that season has since passed.
I don't play like that.
That was my rookie year. I'm in the pros now.
I might be a prude about that. I don't want to create sexual environments with more than one person.
Well,
I might be a prude like that.
No, I'm not in.
You don't have to disclose your experience.
No, I'm fine. I'm in the back in the gap in the G.
Oh, okay.
I was like open to those things. Back in the G, I was open to that, but now I'm not. But what I mean by that is there are, I know two situations where a woman has been like, oh, I just want to experiment with you for practice. Kind of like when you first started French kissing, you were like, French kiss your hand. No, was that just me? How did you practice French kissing? Like on actual girls?
Yeah, man, I was a wild boy.
Okay, so like
I'll never forget.
So you never did anything like you didn't practice before you went to the game?
Nah, when you an all-star, you just show up.
But you don't come out the gate being an all-star.
I would say her name, but she's married. The first girl I French kissed was on the way to the band hall, Reed Intermediate, in like middle school. Okay. I knew what I was doing. Well, she knew what I was doing too.
The first girl I French kissed, I practiced a little bit beforehand.
No, I just went in that cold. I used media. Like
that's a form of practice.
Watching cartoons where they joke about French kissing, watching TV shows where they like create the illusion of what it is. You can formulate in your mind a idea of what it should be.
Okay,
which I think is a great segue into how I disagree with the fact that people believe in that, because if you see sexual or homosexual content on TV, it will make you gay.
That is like the most ignorant thing ever.
I think that's ignorant from a place of, if you don't want it, you won't want it. But if you want it and you see it, you might be a little more curious about it.
Now, I do think that when we talk about curiosity, sometimes people, you may not know what you want until you see it, right? So there may be a situation in which you see some content or you watch. Okay, think about this. When you first started, true or false, in your intimate experiences or in your sex life, there are certain things that get you off, right? There's certain positions or things or
leather.
You like leather?
Bruh, I don't know if I ever told this story, but I feel like I have. Growing up watching the Apollo, every time a R&B group would sing, they would have on a leather outfit. So in my mind, sexuality was tied with that material. So when you would see SWV sing, Aaliyah, pause, when the male R&B groups would sing, they would have on like the leather pants, or they had the leather vest on. Like it was like a mental.
So let me find out, you got a leather kink. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I like what I like.
Okay. I totally don't kink shame.
Bro, that's crazy, man.
I totally don't kink shame.
We talking all this except, I like.
I totally don't
That's
kink
my
shame.
bag, bro.
So what I was getting at is, so what you're saying right now is right. If you had never seen Showtime at the Apollo, you either might not have known you like leather like that, or you would have, somewhere in your life you were exposed.
I wouldn't
to
have formed the mental patterns, or they call it the pathways. Essentially, they don't form. You don't get the dopamine. And this was young, bro. I'm like 6, 7, but I know that's what see
it and then be like, I didn't know I like this. Let me try it. And so I do, and I also think that's why representation is important. Now that doesn't mean that we're like, because some people are like, oh, that's pushing a gay agenda. But there may be a Jamar at home who's like 10 or 12 or 13, because when I was a kid, I didn't think that male relationships were a real thing, and then I saw it on television. I was like, oh, this is actually a reality that I could probably have
if you want,
right?
If you want.
And so I was exposed to something. I was like, oh, okay, because I feel different on the inside. I've been like dating girls and having girlfriends and doing catch and kiss with girls, and it just didn't feel cool. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a good thing. So I was exposed. I have been exposed in a not a great way, but in a great way through media. I was introduced to same-sex relationships, and then I was like, and then boom, here we are.
Okay. Growing up having gay people in my family in such close proximity, not in my immediate household, but adjacent, I was never made uncomfortable and or influenced by their decisions. It was more of a choice.
So let me ask you a question. Would you agree that you're an attractive black gay man?
Would you agree that I am?
Would you agree?
To them?
No, just in life. Would you agree that you're an attractive black gay man?
Nah, because I'm not gay.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say gay. I'm sorry. Cut that.
No, we using that.
I was thinking something. Sorry. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
No, I'm not gay.
I was getting ready to ask you a question.
That's a clip. Oh, God. That is a clip. No, I'm not
gay. What I meant to say was, would you agree that you're an attractive black man?
Oh, yeah, I'm handsome.
Okay. So then my question was going to be, how do you feel or respond when gay men are like, damn, and then they may try to come on to you?
This is a great story. Growing up, I have always been the black man that gay men have been attracted to. That's a flex. That's a testament to how handsome I am. Growing up, every gay dude that was in school, whether it be in elementary school, middle school, and in high school, the gay dudes were attracted to me and told me.
So how do you?
I'm not gonna name them because some of them are in the closet and some of them ain't. But some of the black men that were gay told me they liked me and asked was I gay, and I just told them no. Like I had an hour-long conversation with this gay dude that I went to high school with that wasn't out the closet, but I knew he was gay. He knew he was gay, and some of his close friends did. And he told me he liked me and wanted to date me and would I ever consider it, and essentially tried to convince me to be curious. And I was like, nah, that's just not me. I don't hate you. I don't have nothing against you. I'm not uncomfortable having this conversation, but no, I've been in a relationship and this gay black man that had a crush on me lied and said we did something to kind of spread a rumor to tarnish my relationship. It just ain't worked though.
So yeah, I mean, like
I got some there's even some trauma in that in terms of just like perception and how people view you. But I just always knew that I was confident in my manhood and that people's perception of what my manhood is wouldn't tarnish that.
Okay.
So I'm an anomaly in that sense because that's not as commonplace.
So do you get uncomfortable when black gay men have crushes on you?
Nah, I don't, because I don't. That does not mean that I have to be play the tennis with them, and I use that metaphor to just correlate to the fact that some people fall into the banter, and then to like make themselves uncomfortable. Some people are very anti and they reject it, but for me, it doesn't make me any less of who I am if a gay black man, or not just black, but a gay anybody, it comes on to me.
You know what I found in my experience while we're talking about people coming on to, so on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? It can sometimes be uncomfortable for me as a gay black man when heterosexual or men who identify, notice I said identify as heterosexual, come on to me.
Is down low a derogative term?
In my opinion, it is. And the reason why I say that is because...
Educate me.
Yes. So when we talk about down low, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, down low are already down and low are negative connotative words with negative connotation, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of black men, I can't speak for other races and cultures, but black men more so, we've been kind of like villainized or demonized those black men who aren't out yet in society, and so then the label is like down low, right? Whereas I think it should just be men who may not have. We should probably have better phrasing around it. Men who may not have come to accept their sexuality yet. And now that doesn't mean that there are not black men out there who will do things like be with a woman and have a whole life with her and then be with a man and not tell the woman and vice versa. But when you talk about the phrase down low, it makes me cringe because there are some men who are not comfortable telling their truth yet. They haven't arrived to their truth, or they've arrived to it internally but not externally, and because of phrases like down low, or people trying to push black men out of the closet, or people trying to catch men up, right? Sometimes that makes men more afraid to come out and present. And so I do think phrases like down low, they are stifling to our black culture. They are. I was never down low, or I don't like the phrase, but I was never what someone would deem down low, right? I was private and selective about my business, right? I wasn't out to all of my friends and all of my family, but it was because of fear. So a lot of the times, again, phrases like down low, if I'm already afraid to come out, that's a scary phrase to me. And then there are people already trying to push me out, and I'm not ready to be out yet. In my experience, unfortunately, I came out to a friend, and that one friend told my entire friend group. And so that was essentially me being pushed out of the closet. And that was like a really traumatic thing for me, because I thought that I was sharing something in confidence with her for like 3 years. And then like years later, a friend came back and was like, oh yeah, she told all of us. We was all chilling at the house.
The ops.
Very much the ops. Very much the ops at the time. She has since apologized.
I hope you have a bad day today. I hope you. What's something inconvenient?
I'm not saying.
I hope your windshield wiper blades go bad.
She just got a new Jeep.
I hope your windshield wiper blades go bad.
Well,
I hope a bird poop on your car.
So
I believe bad people deserve bad. That was bad.
She wasn't wrong. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. It's the grace in me. She's not a bad person. She just did a bad thing.
I saved the grace for Jesus. Okay, respectfully.
I would
a
say
bird poop on your car.
She not a bad person. She just did a bad thing.
You do bad stuff, you deserve bad things.
But
and grace is from God. If God give you grace, God give you grace.
But that, in my experience, was me being pushed out.
So you ain't want a bird to poop on her car.
I did not want a bird to poop on her car because I don't want a bird to poop on my car.
But if somebody do something bad to you, you got maybe that's part of the problem. I be wanting revenge.
See,
but my therapist told me I gotta let the revenge go in order to heal.
You definitely do because I didn't. There's a book that I like to read constantly that says "Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord." I ain't write that book and I ain't the Lord, so I'm not out here exacting vengeance on nobody. I ain't squeezing the trigger on not man person. Not one. Because God don't play about me. So if you want to suppress whooping, you do something bad to me and watch what God do to you. Because he don't play about me. So I don't have to get the revenge. I don't. But
I be trying to microwave the process.
Though. No way. Not you out here trying to John Wick folks on
John
revenge.
Wick, you know John Wick. Hello.
John Wick folks on revenge.
Yeah, man, our class reunion coming up. That's another episode for another day. Stay tuned. All right, and I pivoted that to say, this is more of from what I've assessed from this conversation, everyone has their desires for how they want to have an embellishment on whatever perspective community they apply to.
Say more.
You have a mission and a goal or a task or a chore that you feel responsible for in your community. That you, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, work towards every day.
It's great that you're bringing this up because a lot of the times, especially, so I work in a corporate setting, and so a lot of the times in corporate setting, we as black people, because there's very few at my job, we get frustrated and say, well, and even in black communities, period, we say, I'm not the voice for all black people. And in the gay community, sometimes it's like, I'm not the voice for all gay people. But this past week, I kind of did some internal work and realized there's a privilege that I have as a black gay man. There are a lot of rooms that I can walk in as a black gay man where there are heterosexual black men like yourself or other people or some of our fraternity members who, because of how I am, it kind of disarms them a little bit. So unfortunately, which I think they should interrogate some of their own internal practices or beliefs, but there's a privilege that I have that I can speak to a certain group of people and have an influence over them, despite the fact that, and despite, not saying despite being bad, but
it's okay.
In lieu of me being gay, right? And maybe some people not being so open to gay black men, there's rooms that I can navigate that other gay black men can't yet. And so it is my right to exercise my privilege, or it's my duty, not my right. It's my duty to exercise the privilege that I have to open doors for other black gay men who can't touch those handles. And so at my job, I am the only black gay man that works at my job.
Okay.
At a multi-million-dollar corporation, right? And so instead of choosing to feel the weight and the oppression of that, I feel the privilege that I get to say, hey, we're going to start doing more LGBTQ plus work here in this organization. I'm leading a program tomorrow that's starting some of that work throughout Houston schools with kids. Or in my fraternity, I will say, hey, we're going to start doing this XYZ thing. And people are like, okay, you know what? Jamar said it. It's a good idea. And now that's opening the door for somebody else. So the way that I show up with my privilege is using my voice for other people. And so just riding back to what I was getting ready to say, this week I've accepted in a lot of places that I'm gonna use
okay, for sure. All right, and as you say that, some of the things that stick out to me is when you use the example of disarming people for the sake of like going to combat.
We talked about earlier the phrase pause that everyone is using. Pause makes me cringe the exact same way as it does watching a Donald Trump speech, and I'm gonna tell you why. Don
T is funny, man. It's entertainment. But I'm continue though.
So I'm gonna tell you why. So the phrase pause, when people say things like pause in certain situations, I remember I said earlier that everything is not a catch-all, but in my experience, when I hear
it can be though.
in my experience, when I hear black men or people, mostly I hear black men say, heterosexual black men say pause.
There's some gay people too.
Okay.
They'd be like pause because it's okay. My fault. Okay.
So in my experience,
when you see somebody say pause,
heterosexual black men say pause because they don't want to be associated with gayness or homosexuality or same sexness with men. And really, the phrase "no homo" walked or crawled so that pause could walk, and I don't like either one of them. Pause is just a fancier, more astute way of saying no homo. And so when people say, like, I went to a barbecue, and there was a guy there who was like, "Oh, I see you got some sausages." Pause. And I was like, "We're at a barbecue, you idiot. Why would I not have sausage? Like, that's stupid." Or like when black men be like, "Oh, I don't want to eat my sausage. Don't take a picture of me eating this sausage. Oh, I can't eat an ice cream around another black man."
That look crazy.
So you just gonna let the ice cream melt in your hand?
That's crazy, dude.
That's stupid to me. So like black men, we just all gonna be hot as hell outside, and there's an ice cream truck that walks by. I'm gonna eat the ice cream. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat the sausage. I'm gonna eat the corn on the cob. But it's like, why is there such in some parts of the black heterosexual male community things that are phallic shaped? Like, it trips me out that some heterosexual black men are more obsessed or have an affinity with policing gayness than gay black men are. Like, so that is what I mean by toxic masculinity. And what it is it's just kind of like, this might be a far-fetched theory, but like, if you are, like, you and me are both men, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that typically men, we swim with our shirts off. Mm-hmm. So if you take your shirt off, I might be like, "Oh, he's got a nice body," or you might be like, "Oh, he's a more thick guy." We're not obsessed over it, right? But if a woman or somebody who is not like used to swimming with their tops off, they're in that environment, they're like, "Oh, this is different." So they're more like, it's more natural for us. That's probably a bad analogy, but it's more natural for us.
I'm not complaining about it.
But what I'm saying is, it's more natural for us.
And I've been laughing a lot only because, to me, and I'm not dismissing you at all, if they're doing it and they're not degrading you, how does it?
So I probably went on a whole nother tangent there.
I should have
had a better example.
This is good.
But I should have had a better example.
But even in that though, same with I didn't have a idealistic example for why I have abstained from going to pride events in the sense of a parade. But when somebody can just hit you with a, "Hey, it ain't that deep," it's like, all right, cool, I go to the parade now.
So that's what I mean by pause.
I use that for pause. Like, if it ain't that deep and it just sounds funny, it's crazy.
So, but the reason why I think pause is detrimental to even the black community, the black male community, the black community period, even more detrimental to the black male relationship, heterosexual to homosexual across the table, and even more detrimental to homosexual black men, is because what it is it's mocking our lifestyle every single time. You as a heterosexual black man, you love women, you love to make love to women, you want to be married to a woman, you want to have children, you want to have what you believe,
maybe not,
or one,
maybe one.
But imagine if every time somebody made reference to your heterosexual choices and your heterosexual lifestyle, they used a phrase that was a joke. So to people like me, phrases like pause is not only insulting, but it's like you're making a joke of my reality, or you are insulting my culture. That's how it feels. Every black man may not feel like it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't like it. So if somebody's like, "Oh, it's getting, it's getting real deep. Y'all having a deep conversation." Pause. We are so much more smarter than that, black men.
Yes.
We are so much more smarter than that.
It's low hanging fruit. From a comedy perspective, it can get annoying and or offensive. To me, that is comedy in itself. Any comedic joke can be skewed to be offensive to the butt of the joke. Pause.
You just said the butt of the joke, right? So in these things, right, now gay black men are the butt of the joke. We don't want to walk around being the butt of the joke.
But y'all like butt.
Not every gay black man likes butt.
Well, to an extent.
No.
Everybody like butt.
No.
Who don't like butt?
If
you don't like butt, I don't even do this. But if you don't like butt, leave a comment below if you don't like butt. I might have to cut this.
This
part.
why you need to go to the Pride Parade. This why you need to go
It's
to the
gonna
Pride
be butt
Parade.
there.
We need you. No,
It's
we
gonna
need
be
you
butt
to
at the
be
Pride
as
Parade.
exposed
I'm
and
exposed.
ingratiated
I'm exposed.
and educated
I'm
as
exposed.
possible.
I'm exposed. I got Pride Skittles in there.
That don't mean shit.
It means something to somebody.
My neighbor is black.
Hey,
My son
I
has a
don't
black
think those
friend.
are problems.
My mailman is black.
I don't think that these are.
All lives matter. That's what you're giving.
They do, but I disagree when you use it. Okay, with that, I disagree with using those terms to defend someone's problem. Case in point. If you told me that this was a problem to the gay community, and I said, I'm not hurting the gay community because whoever is gay, that's wrong. I don't think that is this right now.
I don't think we should normalize pause.
I'm not mad at you feeling that way.
But also, as an advocate and an ally, you should challenge yourself in maybe not using that.
So, am I less of an ally and advocate if I do not align with your desires as an ally and advocate?
I'm only giving you a suggestion.
I'm asking the question.
I'm not gonna say it makes you less of it.
I just answer the question.
You
Just,
may.
Am I less?
I'm gonna say
you,
yes.
To you?
I'm gonna say yes.
And
I'm gonna tell you why.
And I was to you.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because again, you are a person of influence. You are a person that people love. You're a person that when you speak, people are gonna hear what you have to say. So we all carry a responsibility, right? So even this show is your platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way you live is your platform. When you're at your job and how you present with your family and your fraternity, you're on a platform whether you want to be or not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not knocking that.
So
not at all.
As an advocate and an ally, if someone's like, man, Jan is a man with high morals, scholastics and great aptitude, and he just lives with such fortitude. And then I hear Jan use pause, but I'm a problematic, toxic black man. I'm like, oh well, Jan do it, so I can do it.
Yeah, and to that I say, such is life.
Okay.
That no, and I'm not taking the wind out your sail. I say such is life. You're gonna have things that you do that are not 100% aligned with what your platform is. That does not mean that your platform is not your platform.
So let me ask you a fun question.
I like fun.
If you were a gay man, would you date yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm him.
What are the qualities that make Jan, like, if gay Jan is looking at gay Jan, what are the things that it's like, damn, gay Jan, you a baddie?
I mean, you've answered your question with.
Does your love language change when it's friendships, family versus romantic, or do you give the same love language to everybody?
Well, it changes when it's family because I don't get to physically touch my family the same way.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but in that same category, are you like a hugger with your family? Like, you kiss your mom on the cheek?
Yeah, for sure. But absolutely. I'm the same way. So It doesn't change. Like, I dap my brothers up, hug my brothers. We grew up in a household where it was firm masculinity. Like, I kiss my dad, I kiss my brothers. We do that. And that actually, funny story, because my brothers and I don't look the same unless you stare at us. People did not know we were siblings. So if I would have kissed my brother at PV, like being silly or just like affectionate, like I love you, bro. And then even fooling my baby brother Cross, and I post a photo of me kissing him on the bald head. That was like a very affectionate moment, and I could by how people reacted to it what some of their views were. Because a lot of y'all was trying to holler at me after that. Like, look, brothers, I love everybody. But, nah, I ain't that brother. Okay?
My daddy was the first man that I kissed.
Yeah, I mean, same. It was my pops.
And
I love him. The lips like black and mild, man. It was like, ugh, but...
I think it's important that and I love and I thought that was really great to see you do that with your brother on social media because... again, you using your platform to show people that it's okay to male intimacy can look like platonic family love.
Yeah, for sure. Now, mind you, I'm not kissing none of y'all Cause I don't know what y'all do in y'all free time.
It's okay.
Like, but I give you a hug. You know,
Well,
yeah.
so
I'll
what-
let you know I love you, but I ain't kissing none of y'all. I love y'all boys wild.
So here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think it's good for.
Yeah, okay, let me just clarify. Hey, look, man. Hey, what are y'all?
Y'all ain't talking about me because I'm a saint, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
ain't,
saint.
right. I ain't talking about him, but don't you like when people agree with you?
Everybody wants to be agreeable, right? I think that intimacy, like we're sitting close on the couch. This is an intimate moment, right? We're having a one-on-one interview. This is an intimate moment. Hugging another black man, that is an intimate moment. Telling a black man I love you, that is an intimate moment. Having a one-on-one telephone conversation or a FaceTime call, that is an intimate moment. So I think that the more we start practicing that with black men, whether gay, straight, purple, green, whatever, the more and more we start practicing that as black men together, we break down some stigmas. We can build up some more, not just tolerance, but acceptance.
Word, yeah, for sure.
And for me, it's important for me to be in community with heterosexual black men, because I think in some spaces, not all spaces, but in some spaces, it's important for me to show them and for them to show me that we can trust each other. Anyway, this is a really good conversation today, right?
Yeah, I actually learned a lot.
Allyship, it's the ship that Yon steers. Allyship.
I don't know if I steer because I don't do well with complaining. So if I steer the ship, it's gonna go the way I want it to go, and y'all got to buckle up and be along for the ride. Pause.
You didn't even let me finish my song. Allyship, it's the ship that Yon steers. Allyship, that looks like heterosexual people and queers. Allyship. He also has decided that he's not going to use the phrase pause anymore.
Wrong. I'm still using pause. That's why I said I'm gonna steer the ship the way I want to steer it. And it's okay.
Allyship.
And it's okay. That's all I want. Lean back in the camera, man.